Welcome back to Tricks Fix. This week I'm making a tutorial on the most highly requested trick, triple cork. There are three main things that are going to allow you to get your triple cork, and that is getting a setup, getting your set, and getting your twist. All of those things need to be near perfect for the triple cork to be landed. So first I'm going to talk about the setup. I tried TDR first for about a month. It didn't work. I was just jumping as high as I could and twisting as hard as I could, and I didn't have the air awareness for it. And the reason I was using TDR is because it was a more powerful setup for me, but it wasn't my most comfortable. After the TDR, I was like, okay, so now I'm going to use a setup that I find to be more powerful than TDR, and that's G-Switch. So over time, G-Switch became more powerful, but it was the wrong choice again. I had surgery on my ankle, and I came back, and now I'm attacking triple cork again. Then I decided to use Master Scoot. And the reason I decided to use Master Scoot is because I wanted to micro twist into the triple cork. So basically do a dub so high that I would be able to just do 2.5 and be opened on the last half twist, and then do like 2 3/4 and slowly just make the rotation until eventually you just have to send it. And that was my idea, and it ended up working because I was able to attempt the triple cork so many times out of the comfortable setup. Versus when you use a powerful setup, what's going to happen, for example, in G-Switch especially, so I'm going for G-Switch, and then you hit it, and you just don't hit it right. So it's just a dry swing. Or you hit it, and you go up, but you just do a cork. Like, you can't rip the twist. And then you hit it right, but you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting to hit it right. So then you don't do it. Or you do it, and it's just terrible. So that's why you need a comfortable setup, preferred over a powerful setup, because the more attempts you get in, the more you'll learn about the trick itself. And what's really cool is once you get it really close out of another setup, so say you couldn't get it out of Master Scoot, so you do end up going to TDR, it's still beneficial, super beneficial, to train it out of your worst setup, your maybe less powerful setup, because when you go to the next one, it's going to be so easy. So for example, TDR and G-Switch are both more powerful for me, but Master Scoot is more consistent. So I have gotten triple cork out of Master Scoot plenty of times, and then immediately after, I got TDR triple cork and G-Switch triple cork, because I understood how to hit and go up and the set and everything. I knew what I needed to make the setup more comfortable, and now those setups are way more comfortable for me. So even though they're maybe less comfortable, they're 10 times more comfortable than they were before when I was trying to get that TDR or G-Switch triple cork. So what is it in a setup that causes it to be useful? Why am I able to do Master Scoot triple cork and TDR triple cork and G-Switch triple cork? What is it about them that has what's similar? What are the similarities between all of these setups? I'm going to tell you that it doesn't matter how you enter your setup. My TDR entry, I find it to be really ugly and really improper, but the ending is very good, and it's actually identical to my Master Scoot and my G-Switch. The key is, when you're coming out, you're going to hit a hollow position, and you're going to be square. So I'm going to show some videos of a TDR triple cork where I actually drift to the left because I go to twist too early. So right here, I'm going to drift to the left. Even if I had enough height, I probably wouldn't have landed it because my momentum is moving to the left, so I'm going to fall the direction I'm drifting. And then here I square up. I'm going to play it again. Watch the knee. The left knee on takeoff bends, which allows me to move to the right, so my swing counteracts that lean, and I go up square. So on this attempt, I square up, and I try to literally gainer, and you can tell how far I move back. It's like a foot, which is insane with a setup like a TDR. Your biggest dubs, you're going to be able to set it as square as possible and come down square. Almost swingable, right? So when you are doing your triple cork, you should be in the exact same barrel. You shouldn't be drifting, you shouldn't be twisting too early. You should still set like you're doing the biggest dub ever, and then you just hold. That's how to triple cork, really. So here's a G-Switch dub. Take a look at how I land my G-Switch, and then look at how I take off. I'm not leaning back excessively, and I go straight up because I actually do the dub in place. And when I say do double cork X out, this is the position I mean. Do you think I can do a 360 from there? I think so. Now here's the G-Switch triple cork, and it looks almost identical, takeoff and everything. all I do is I just hit the double cork X out position, add a twist. The flip twist ratio is right on if you do that. Focusing on the double cork X out is going to help you if you lack the flip when you're trying triple cork. And if you're lacking twistability, then you should be doing dub variations.
Master Scoot, and we're going to look at the exact same setting principle that I talk about and why it is similar in every single setup.
So I just use a prancy entrance, and then the ending is where I speed up at the last second, and it's all about the set. So little prance, I'll pause it in the same positions, right there, leaning forward to get all the weight onto my left leg, setting straight up, X out, twist. Now I don't pause when I do the X out, but I know that I can hit that position and it's a good bail point for me. I cannot dub hyper, so that's not a bail point for me, and that's just because of my ankle. Now let's look at 2 comboed Master Scoot triple corks, and this one I did not do. So check out the pogo here. It's almost like I do Master Scoot from standing. The transfer is very poor, and then right here, I rush my twist. You can see how quickly my knee goes over my left leg, and I'm leaning back too early. And it almost looks like, you know, when you miss a step and you push off and there's nothing there, it's like the twist caused me to start to twist, so when I pushed, I couldn't push. Versus here, much smoother. Let's take a look at it. We've got a perfect transfer, so I'm leaning away from the weight that I put on my right foot. And then as I go up, my knee goes straight up and over, and I hold the hollow much longer. Then I turn over for my twist. So if you're patient, then you'll have more time.
A little more in depth on the twisting too early. So basically what happens is if these are your 2 feet, okay, and you swing this leg and you start to twist, your foot is going to not be in the optimal position to push off the ground. So you're swinging and you start to twist, and now you can't push off the ground. But when you jump, it's going to be really minuscule, or you're going to be twisting, so you're going to be pushing away from the floor instead of up off the floor. So you take off here, nice and square, and then you go up, and then you twist. So you're twisting, and your left leg is going to be losing the grip on the floor. You're not going to have the weight on your left leg because you started to throw it into your twist. You want the weight on your left leg, and you want to be able to use the push of your left leg to get the height. And the extra hollow, by leaning forward, if you're coming in from your Master Scoot and you hit here, and then you push, then you're going to go straight up. It's not going to lack in the flip because you know how to do it. You will start to do your normal axis cork as soon as you swing your leg. Practice on trampoline. Get the twist to not be choppy. That's the last thing I want to talk about is when people do dub and then they spot and then they twist. That's a good way to learn about where you are. And you can do like 2.5 that way, but don't be trying to land a triple cork like that. You're probably going to land cross legs or hurt your ankles or whatever. You have to figure out how to get rid of that blind spot, because when you're doing a new trick, there's that blind spot. You're not used to it. You're not comfortable with it. You don't know what is happening or where you are during the last twist. So you do 2.5. You can do hypers. You can do dub D-leg twists, and then it'll kind of give you an idea. Like when you do a cork D-leg twist, right? So now you do a dub D-leg, and then you kind of can assume what it's going to feel like to do the triple cork in that blind spot. You can kind of invent or imagine the feeling because you've done a twist after a D-leg before. So now don't do the D-leg, but you need to hit that same amount of flip to add the twist. That's why doing a triple cork is easier than a dub D-leg twist, right? The final tip I have for you is when you go to set and do some timers, try to imagine doing different tricks. So don't just set your biggest cork. Don't just set your biggest double cork. Try doing your biggest cork D-leg, or try doing your biggest cork swipe, and then compare them and see which one you get the most height on. So the way I actually got triple cork on floor is by doing G-switch cork in on trampoline. So I did G-switch cork in on trampoline, and I could do it pretty easily compared to G-switch triple cork. G-switch triple cork took way more attempts, and then I realized that it was actually my set. So when I go to do a G-switch triple cork, I twist it too early, and that same thing happens when you go to twist. You twist too early, you can't push off, especially on a tramp. That's very noticeable. So then I go to do my cork in, and I'm super patient. I go up because it's a double flip. So I go super high, and then I do a single cork, and then I do a backflip after it. And it goes up. That's all I did different. And I set it hollow properly. I was patient. And I compared the sets, and I was like, oh, they're completely different. Why would they be different? They're the same entry. So instead, I set a triple cork like a cork in, and then I held. And I was like, oh. And I started landing them on trampoline. And then I used the same technique to get that same hollow position, that same lift, and it is working for triple cork. And now I don't have to think of that because now it's natural. Now I understand how to do it for triple cork, and I still do it for cork in, but I'm saying, like, figure out which one you set naturally the highest. You know, if you naturally set a cork D leg so high, then that's what you need to set like.
So let's take a look at a master screw cork in so you can understand the points are the same. Straight up, almost in place. Probably like 8 inches back. So let's pause it and take a look. So slow entry, quick at the end. There's me leaning forward, and there's the takeoff. Those are the same positions as in the triple cork. I hope this tutorial helped you and cleared some things up. Go ahead and DM me on Instagram at crispytricks, and go ahead and comment if you have more questions, and be sure to comment any suggestions for next week's video as well. And yeah, enjoy landing triple corks.
Baby, let's go get another fucking stain. Beat them with the chain. Feeling good up in the rain. Therapy, I be killing bitches till the